All right, we are back. It
Hi.
is 2017. We're talking about
WWE Weekly Recap.
SmackDown now. We just talked about Raw. We were kind of, I would say, pretty mediocre on Raw. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say there's some really good points, and then they just have dumb booking and shitty script writers.
SmackDown opens up with Kevin Owens' highlight reel.
Yep.
He's really good. I love him on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And he does the two things he's supposed to do. I buy him as a dangerous person and also an asshole. And that's what he's supposed to be. So
Yep.
I'm great. I'm fine with it. He speaks French, which generates some good heat. I did have to laugh at JBL. AJ Styles comes out, and JBL starts talking about AJ's ability to speak English. I'm like, this from Michael JBL. Let's never have JBL talk about someone else's English skills ever again. AJ's promo was there, and it was perfectly fine. Jinder comes out. Like there are I would say two big problems with Jinder, as beyond what everyone kind of acknowledges on his kind of semi-main event push, and that is, so he's a rich playboy, right? Like that's the idea. He's a rich Indian playboy.
They're a little vague on that point, but yeah, I think that's the hint you're supposed to get without them actually saying he's really rich.
So if we go back in time a little bit, and I don't mean that far, we're talking less than a year. Jinder Mahal turns on Heath Slater, his buddy from the three-man band, kicks him in the head, so he gets a contract with Raw.
Jinder Mahal's got kids.
At that time, he wasn't rich. So how did he become rich?
Give me something. Give me a dead uncle.
Because like if his contract made him rich, then is not every WWE superstar a rich playboy?
I would assume. Just give me something. Give me a dead uncle. Give me an inheritance.
That would work.
Yeah. Quick, dirty, easy. Done.
Or won the lottery even. I don't care.
Something. Yeah, Powerball in India. Even though he's Canadian.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. And the other thing is that, so his heel heat, for lack of a better term, I don't think he really has heat, but his heel
That's
deal,
too early.
Is I'm really a face, but you don't like me because I'm Indian, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work when you consider Mustafa Ali as one of the bigger faces on 205 Live. Like, I understand Mustafa Ali's not Indian, but to Americans, there's no difference. There's no difference. Chicago, I think, actually. There's no difference between Arabs, Persians, like the assorted Middle East, and India to Americans. There just isn't. They can't tell them apart.
Mustafa Ali, aka Adil Alam, is from Bolingbrook, Illinois.
There you go. But like, you've got a face basically who's got almost the same kind of backstory as Jinder Mahal, but we want to blame he's the misunderstood heel. He's the Muhammad Hassan currently. Muhammad Hassan worked because there wasn't a face who had almost the same backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's falling really flat as a heel. That's my opinion.
Well, that and they're just doing it too short notice. You're a heel. Get out there and heel. Oh, God.
Yeah, that too.
So he's not used to the role. He's not used to... He's
been a heel for most of his career. So.
Yeah, but he's not used to being that heel. He's not used to being the heel. Well, right now, he's supposed to be the heel, other than Kevin Owens. And he I'm assuming he's never been even Intercontinental Champ before?
No, he's had no gold in WWE. He might have had something in NXT, but maybe like a tag team belt or something? Or maybe something when it was FCW.
Jinder Mahal has held 0 gold in the WWE. He was Stampede Wrestling Tag Champ twice, Prairie Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Champ twice, Tag Champ once, All-Star Wrestling Tag Champ once.
Okay, so yeah, he's held 0 gold.
So you've got a guy who's never been near a title in his life, essentially outside the some very, very small promotions. And you want him to be the heel overnight? No, he's not going to have any heat. No, he's not going to be very good in his role. No, his promos are not going to be the best. They're pretty good, although sometimes he drifts off into this weird conversational type attitude while he's trying to be a heel, and it's not working really well. But when he gets up and yells and he's Mada Maharaja, I think he needs to play up the Maharaja. Well, he's playing the Maharaja card good enough. I don't need it to be overplayed. But he could say, like, he could work in some other thing. Like, he could be the Maharaja of Might or something. I don't know. But I think if they would, instruct him to just yell a lot and get the Singh brothers a little bit of mic time, make him the annoying little jackals, like, yeah, get him, Jinder, get him, yeah, something like that, anything. They could sell them as a faction really well, and then they would be kind of dangerous as a faction. Not so much as, not so much as Jinder's sort of lapdogs or whatever. At this point, they're disposable, not really integral to the storyline, other than they're going to show up, they're going to fuck around. And then either the face is going to dispose of them and then get distracted and lose, or he's going to dispose of them and then turn around and beat up Jinder. There's only 2 ways you can go with that. There's not much else, not much other play there. Again, bad booking. But what are you going to do?
Yep. So from that, we transitioned into an AJ Styles Jinder Mahal match. Take it away.
It was okay. AJ Styles really kind of carried the match because, again, Jinder's not on that level. It was a good idea to put him in the ring against AJ Styles. It was a bad idea to have him beat AJ Styles when both people are contending for a title going into your pay-per-view. So giving one of them a loss looks really, really weakening, you idiots.
Yeah, that was pretty much on a fundamental level bad booking.
Bad. You should have either had a fuck finish or a DQ.
Well, I mean, we did have the fuck finish. Owens nailed Styles in the knee with the belt.
That doesn't really... I mean, that only works... That would work better if there was more action. One hit one time does not really get heat transference like 2 or 3 hits or repeated interference or anything.
We also had the Singh brothers try to distract AJ a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of... Yeah, but I mean, then who am I supposed to boo?
Yeah.
Really? Like... Concentrate your heat, goddammit. Be a volcano. Concentrate your heat.
Be a volcano. Erupt from just one epicenter.
Yeah, I just don't... It was messy. It was like a really bad peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, yeah, I mean, without a doubt, this was booked, in my opinion, as well as it could be booked. It's just on a fundamental base level... Having your contender for your main title and your your US title face each other before the pay-per-view it's not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Nope.
The only things that really kind of stood out is JBL still being a bully and talking about safe spaces is a bad plan. They really need to put a muzzle on him at least for a bit till we forget that he caused someone to basically get out of the company by being a bully.
They should have just pulled him off TV for like 6 months.
Yeah.
He's an asshole, and he's always been an asshole. Just pull him off TV for 6 months. Let him go. Stay in the Bahamas, Michael. And fool around with apparently he's trying to build up some sort of rugby thing in the Bahamas. It's like, dude, come on. That's like putting Colonel Sanders in charge of football.
I wish him all the best because
no.
I'm always good for more rugby, but
Yeah.
it's not likely to work. Um, yeah, and to be clear, people want to vilify JBL, I think, beyond what is really required. And the fact is, that company has the bullying culture. It's not JBL. It truly isn't, because if it was, he would just be fired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically enablers at this point. The whole culture needs to change, which it won't, because Vince holds ultimate power.
In fact, you would argue that JBL, by being a bully, has gotten more power. I mean, think about JBL's career for just like one moment. Going back into the Acolyte Protection Agency and then suddenly becoming a main eventer. Still having a job now when many of his contemporaries are gone. He's Vince McMahon's best buddy in the world, basically. Him being a bully has been good for his career. So
yep.
I don't even know if I could even pass judgment on the man and be like, so like if I could be in JBL's head, like the angel on his shoulder for a moment, and be like, well, if we were a nicer person, we probably wouldn't have a job. So I'm having a hard time actually justifying this.
Yeah, I mean, they were the guys that got sent out there against the Public Enemy and told, fuck them up, send them home.
Yep.
That's his career in a nutshell. He's been used as a hammer his entire goddamn career and told it was okay.
Yep, and been rewarded for it. So, I mean, I honestly have the question of, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't get me wrong. Like, it doesn't make what he's doing right, but it does make it understandable.
But till this point, he was basically told that this is part of this is part of your job, is to do the things. If I'm speaking for Vince, which I'm pretty sure I am at this point, your job is to go out there and do as I say. And if you do as I say, you get rewarded. End of story. So this is Vince using other people as tools. Now, there's a certain amount of allowance there where apparently JBL was washing people's, went into the showers repeatedly and tried to molest young, long-haired boys. But that's and apparently the Hardys as well. And apparently, wasn't it also Shannon Moore?
I could see that, but I don't think I've heard that specific one.
It was, I can't remember who. There was another one. It was maybe not Shannon Moore, but maybe somebody of that kind of nature.
And to be clear, nothing makes that okay. Like that has always been the thing that I'm like, JBL is actually a piece of shit. But
yeah, I think they need to rehire Joey Styles and put him on JBL watch.
Or Steve Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been my favorite JBL thing. He tried to bully Steve Blackman. It's a bad play on.
I'm just a big Joey Styles mark, so I enjoy that. As soon as I saw or read that news, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Go Joey. Go Joey.
Pretty much. Moving on from the ugliness that is the JBL stuff.
We
got a Lana vignette. I don't want to sound like a completely pervy dude, but she's really hot, and that's really all there is to say about this.
That could be very true, yes.
I'm serious. They did like nothing to build up her like re-debut. It's just, here's a pretty lady for you. Okay.
Yeah. No. And you know what? I'm relatively okay with it.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
Attractive ladies are a thing I enjoy, and she's an attractive lady, very talented. Let's not sell anything short.
Oh yeah, no, she's a fantastic actress.
But I thought that I think that if they're breaking up Russo and Lana, that's a bad move.
Russo.
Did I say Russo?
You said Russo.
Oh no! It's that pole match, that goddamn pole match. Anyway, and by the way, they bumped Rusev off Smackdown. I was telling you, he's supposed to be here. They put a promo out on air last week that he would be here, and they didn't because contract signing. Yeah. So if they're breaking up the couple, I guess that's just WWE par for the course because they can't have married couples be happy.
I mean, they can. They can if they're a sanctioned married couple, like Naomi and the Uso that she's married to.
Well, that's awesome, but I don't care.
or Miz and Maurice to a degree and like stuff like that. But no. If your relationship got in the way of their plans, they're never going to forgive you, and that pretty much is the case with Lana and Rusev getting married during the Lana Ziggler stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one option, or there's a couple of options, and the options are getting better and better all the time in the world of professional wrestling. So, at some point, Rusev and Lana could just say, you know what, fuck it. We'll go wrestle in Japan. We'll go to Ring of Honor. We'll go to TNA. We'll go to Lucha Underground. We'll go to they can go to Europe. Dude, the British scene is exploding right now. Somebody 5-Star Wrestling just offered CM Punk $1 million to come do some shows.
Mm-hmm.
There's money to be had in them Nar Hills.
There is. We got a Fashion Files fashionable intent deal.
Fantastic.
It was hilarious. I don't really have anything else to really say about it. It was really funny.
I would like to thank whoever was behind Southpaw Regional Wrestling, not only because it's probably the best WWE product in the last 20 years, but also because it got Cheddarfield and the Banker over huge. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a direct result of this particular push.
It wouldn't surprise me.
So, Southpaw OP, Fashion Files OP as fuck. I would love to have these guys have the title. Push some goddamn faces for an extended period of time. Have people enjoy wrestling again. For God's sakes, you're in the middle of a rating spiral of horrible doom. Just push some people that people might like to watch. Maybe it's a thought.
And to be clear, a lot of people, when I talk about the flaws of the product, are like, well, they're making more money than ever. I'm like, yes, because there are more revenue streams than ever. Yeah. You have network money that you never had before. You have accessibility of merchandise is at an all-time high because you can get it internet, and the advances in the ability to ship things is getting much better. The ability to buy things online without a credit card or with a pre-approved credit card from your parents is all-time high. So kids can get a lot more merch. Like, making more money when there's more money to be made isn't impressive.
No.
Yeah, when we talk about the flaws, we're talking about how much more money on top of that you could make.
More money, more problems.
Randy Orton had a promo. The only thing I found about it to really note was Randy Orton called someone an asshole, which to that I have only one thing to say. Pot, meet kettle. You're both black.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. It's
not wrong. It's just
character Randy Orton called character Jinder Mahal an ass. Correct. Problem being, we don't care and you're boring.
That's that's pretty much it. Moving on. Fashion Police face the Clones. It was a good match.
It was alright.
The oddity, of course, of the match is thinking of Johnny Curtis, aka Fandango, as the heavy of his team is just always a bit bizarre.
That's Vince booking the bigger guy to be the bigger guy.
Well, no, and I mean, if that team has to have a heavy, it is Fandango. It's just it's just weird that dynamic would even really exist with that team. I see them more as Edge and Christian, not Enzo and Cass.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was good. We got a Falcon Arrow from Fandango to get the pin. Usos came out. They cut a promo. I like the delivery. I like the heat that they brought to the table, although I feel like their promos a lot of the time are still more face than heel, despite the fact they're supposed to be the main heel tag team. But the content was just not particularly great. I mean, it basically boiled down to, we are prisoners at Uso State Penitentiary, and we will beat us up some cops.
Yeah, I don't... Again, this goes back to not using people ever for anything. I've been watching again since WrestleMania 32. I don't remember the Usos ever being put anywhere near a microphone ever for any reason whatsoever, to the point where I didn't know which one was which, and the whole joke about which one's Jimmy, which one's Jay. I still don't know. One of them looks, in the promo that they cut tonight, I think it had more to do with the giant hoodie one of them was wearing, but one of them looks 50, 60 pounds heavier than the other one. So maybe I'll be able to tell which the fat one is and which the non-fat one is now. But A, I still don't know which one's which. B, I don't much care because I don't know who they are. C, they've been pushing them as like really tissue paper white baby faces for forever, so I don't buy this heel turn. C, they're really bad on the mic, other than the fire and the delivery and that kind of stuff. Their content is garbage, and it doesn't make any sense. And until you corrected me while we were watching this live, I legitimately thought that they'd been using the word moose for 3 months now, because they were on Talking Smack once or twice, maybe only once. Again, not putting them in front of a microphone. And they came on and they referred to each other and themselves and all of the hosts as moose, I thought. I had no idea. And now apparently you corrected me and it's oos, which makes even less sense.
I don't know. I think it makes more sense than moose.
I guess, but at least moose is a word. Yeah, it doesn't, like, none of this heel turn makes any sense at all. It doesn't. I don't get it.
The motivation for the heel turn actually made a lot of sense, because it basically boiled down to, we went and tried to help our cousin Roman, and we got booed. Like that actually is like a really solid foundation for a heel turn.
Was that I had no idea that was even a thing.
Super slow burn.
I remember them being vaguely somewhat minor league involved with, and then they were called the Family for about a week.
And then the Roman Empire for about a week.
Yeah, and then that was over too. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if this is connected dots, then you've put the dots in different chapters, not even different pages, and especially not on the same page.
And a slow burn can work if you keep, like, kind of reminding us to a degree, like, they're out there, they're doing stuff, they're talking, there's an evolution of the story. Whereas with this, we went from, like, a little bit of resentment to, we're full-blown heels, yeah!
Yeah, it doesn't. We've gone from dressing up like party clowns to dressing up like kind of Dean Ambrose knockoffs to now we're gangsters. I'm like, you're what? I'm sorry, you're what?
Pretty much.
So they either need to go. What I would say, lock these guys in a room, make them cut 36 straight hours of promos with no sleep, and by the end of that time, you'll probably have some stuff you can deliver on air. But I wouldn't do. I don't. You did you watch SmackDown last week?
Yes, I did.
The 12 days stuff. Did you see that?
I did see that.
It was fine up until they'd done it the third time, and then they got into some weird sexual stuff, and they couldn't stop, and they dug the hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and everybody got real uncomfortable. And I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but this week with the Fashion Police in the ring watching them cut the promos, because they cut the camera to Breezango in the ring, and they're both just watching them go. They're both watching the Usos call each other moose and walk to the ring and talk their nonsense about penitentiaries and BS like that. And they no-sold the whole thing. Like, the Fashion Police just stood there, like, with a foot on the ropes, leaning on the top rope, going, what? What? What?
Kinda, yeah.
So, please, lock these guys away. I like the intensity. I like the delivery. but I don't know what the hell they're saying, and I don't know why the fuck I should care.
Kind of about sums it up a little bit. So I'm gonna take the next bit because you left to go to get a Slurpee during the contract signing.
Special
And
right now.
so this is gonna be all me at this point.
I came back during part of it. It was still going. Holy shit!
Yeah, chime in when you wish to.
I might. So
we had the 6 women contract signing. Just a couple of things off the top of the head. Becky Lynch is to Charlotte Flair as Sting is to Ric Flair. That amuses me because she has no reason to trust Charlotte ever again.
True.
And she probably will keep doing it for the next 10 years. The thinness of the SmackDown ladies side is really, really on display in this match because you got Carmella, Natty Neidhart, and Tamina Snuka as your 3 top women's heels, and that is really sad. Shane still gets a good pop. I'll say that's good. Natty's promo was not good, and it is not necessarily her fault. It's the content of the promo is useless. She basically is talking to 2 former champions, including probably the most dominant women's champion in recent memory in Charlotte Flair, and the current champion in Naomi, and talking about how pathetic their team is. When her team is the Welcome Wagon, which is basically formed out of pettiness and jealousy and a lot of pathetic stuff, and is absolute jobber city. Like, when was the last time any of these ladies won a match? I imagine Carmella beat Nikki Bella at some point, but that's maybe about it. So I mean, it just kills it. This is a one-sided thing, and the thing is the whole deal is, okay, the faces are really dysfunctional, etc. A lot of different agendas, but the actions have not ever really supported that. Like, some of the words have, but give me some actions. Give me something to actually base this belief off of. It's really not there. The faces cut a promo that was considerably better than James Ellsworth got on the mic, and that was terrible. And
Yeah.
I don't know what I wanted to see them do with James Ellsworth after his kind of underdog thing, but it definitely wasn't this.
Yeah, I came back as Ellsworth was waving his hands around like some sort of weird traffic victim. And then he got on the mic, and I immediately ignored what the fuck he was saying. And I think you even muted the mic or something like that.
I basically he insinuated that both Becky and Charlotte want to fuck him. He at least didn't do that with Naomi, as she's a married woman. But
yeah, I mean, I guess he's doing the best he can with the hand he's been dealt.
It's not his fault. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is just not a workable gimmick.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, he's just gonna get buried, because Cass's girlfriend taking him down with him. But other than that, it's I ducked out to go grab a Slurpee on purpose because I knew this whole segment was going to be garbage, and I came back and it was still going. Holy crap. And they bumped Rusev off TV for this garbage? Oh my god.
I enjoyed Becky's promo. That was the only good part of this.
Yeah, but you just like her accent.
Nah, I like the content. I like the delivery. Like, it's more than just the accent. I'm not going to lie. The accent helps, but...
A likely story.
But there's more. Anyways, through this, we got a Naomi versus Carmella match. Naomi got a lot of offense in. Ellsworth got ejected, and it was kind of funny to see JBL try to defend Ellsworth because...
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My problem with, like, a strict 100% heel commentator is always the same. I understand that you're supposed to be an asshole, therefore you're going to kind of back the assholes to a certain degree, like they're your people. But there comes times where it's like, based on what I know about JBL, he does not like James Ellsworth. I don't even mean like the bully stuff. I mean, JBL, the character, should not like James Ellsworth, the character, just because they're both heels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the thing, is like a heel should, and you see it with Corey Graves at times, particularly not when he's on Raw. We'll talk about this later with 205 and also with, just 205 because he's not on NXT anymore. But you see it on NXT, on 205 Live where it's like, he will crap on a heel. And that's how it should work. There should be a heel that even the other heels don't like. Like Ellsworth should be an annoying puke that no one wants anything to do with. Naomi had her can spot where she kicks you. It's bad.
It's really horrible.
Again, the announcers kept trying to play up the dysfunction of the face team while giving us like no actual evidence. Tamina and Natty get ejected, but they come back in and they brawl with Charlotte and Becky. Carmella rolls up Naomi for the pin. And then the last thing I can think of really on this whole segment is Tamina being in the welcoming committee actually makes zero sense because she wasn't on SmackDown. She was signed as a free agent. She should be being, frankly, she should be being welcomed.
Yep. I'm wondering if maybe somebody in the booking committee has even 1/8 of a brain during their pay-per-view match. What I would do is try and do the double switch. And Tamina can go face, and Becky Lynch can go heel. And then it makes total sense.
I don't really know how I feel about Becky Lynch as a heel, but I'd like to see I tried.
Yeah.
The current alignment doesn't work, so roll it.
You've got Charlotte, who, let's be honest, her heel run's done. No one really wants to boo her on SmackDown because she's clearly the best wrestler. And there's really no reason to hate her for being the best wrestler. You've got your face champion. There's no reason to boo her. You've got a new girl who nobody knows. There's no reason to boo her. And you've got Becky Lynch, who has an established character, and you can totally turn her heel.
Yep. She would be the one of the three to turn heel, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what they should have done is not done what they did in the first place. Have Tamina be sort of the outsider that doesn't know her way around, doesn't know anything, and then the faces take her in, and then she's like the enforcer of the face faction.
Well, that's the thing, is like Tamina is actually someone I'm probably a lot higher on than like anyone else is. She's a reasonable wrestler. She's actually a certifiable badass. Big girl, strong girl, dangerous looking. Like, there are some things you can do with her. And that we historically really haven't seen really even tried. Like, she was kind of the enforcer of Team Bad, but she wasn't effective.
Yeah.
That's all I got for this one. Then we got basically New Day vignette, which
meh.
Kind of same boat. I enjoyed it, but I mean, it's a vignette. What is there really to say? Dolph Ziggler cut a promo, which I
liked a little bit. It was all right.
I was significantly indifferent to it.
I thought it was fine. I mean, it made a point, and it sets up, it's a no-effort short clip that sets up a match at a pay-per-view. It's totally fine. If you want to try and keep Nakamura in some sort of fantasy land where people can only imagine what this match is going to be like, oh my god, I got to get this pay-per-view, it did a great job. The problem is that people watch NXT, and I'm pretty sure some of these people who watch NXT also have the internet and can find out what Nakamura is all about. So it's kind of WWE not really acknowledging the outside world a little bit, but not much. They reference ROH infrequently because they've got a lot of ROH talent. But they don't want to play ball with New Japan. I really fucking desperately hope they do, because I really want Bullet Club in WWE.
I do kind of understand that just from a business perspective, because New Japan is actually trying to be their rival. So,
yeah, I understand that, but it also, I mean, imagine how much money you could make if you could have maybe Okada at WrestleMania.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yep.
To be clear, I'm excited for this match because as much as Dolph Ziggler, I'm probably more. I don't want to say anti-Ziggler because I'm not. I'm not. But like where everyone is like really really a fan of his, I see the flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it's like he's the Shawn Michaels this generation. I'm like he's Shawn Michaels without the ability to diversify his style and the ability to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Shawn Michaels. That's all it is. That being said, he likes to work really fast. He likes to sell. He likes to work kind of like a high impact style. Nakamura is perfect for that. That's going to be really good. Sami Zayn did a promo where he basically said, I'm facing Baron Corbin at Backlash. That Baron Corbin is threatened by him because he can't keep him down. And Baron attacks him from behind. Minimal words, beats him down. It's effective, but it undermines the entire story of the match. So, like, and I'd be fine with this if this was like, not to go back to a feud they've already done, but like Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin was like it was fine. But this is Sami Zayn. There should be something better.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a continuation of let's throw Sami Zayn under the bus. Let's give him all of the adversity, and then he has to come back. The problem is that they keep doing it.
The problem is he hasn't come back.
At some point, you need to stop making him come back from stuff and make him the guy.
Like his big comeback against Braun Strowman was, I lasted 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
At some point, Sami Zayn is probably, depending on your point of view on Samoa Joe, and if you've got a personal favorite, he might be the best wrestler in the company, bar Nakamura. Styles, yeah. See, I mean, you could make a case for Styles, Nakamura, Joe, but minimum, he's at least the fourth best wrestler. Depending on your personal point of view, he might be anywhere between number 1 and number 4. He might be the best at actually dictating a match. He might be the best at booking his own match in the whole federation. And you need, at some point, I guess not right away, but maybe they're doing it. Maybe they're doing it completely right, and maybe they just needed to put somebody over, and in the short term he has to take a bit of a hit, but maybe they're doing it completely right, and they'll make him the champion in like not next year, but maybe the year after, and then everybody will be going out of their mind because everybody loves Sami Zayn.
I would love to believe that, but I just don't have the faith in their long-term booking skills.
No, because they don't have any.
Yeah. All right, we finish off with Randy Orton versus Baron Corbin in a match that I was not looking forward to in any way. So take over. You were slightly more positive than I was on that.
Yeah, I thought again, not being a Baron Corbin guy, I don't really. I'm beginning to see how he could be a quality wrestler, but from watching again WrestleMania 32 and the Battle Royal, I didn't watch any of his NXT stuff because I didn't watch any WWE product past or prior to that. I did watch him in the Battle Royal, which was and then his push for the next 6 months was and he was no good on the mic, and he wasn't that great in the ring, but the word on the street was that he was supposed to be the guy, like the next big ass heel, and I have no idea why. He's becoming quite a serviceable wrestler. I think his program, I'm really hoping his program with Sami Zayn is going to be the thing that catapults him forward. I hope he learns a ton from Sami Zayn. I hope that he can really kick his in-ring and on-mic performances to the next level, and then I'm proven wrong. I'm totally fine with that. But up to this point, I don't know why they're pushing him so hard. He doesn't have the physique. He doesn't have the moveset. He sells okay. He sells fine. His promos are not very good. but I can see now a certain amount of those combination of things coming together for him. And I can see potentially, maybe I'm a little bit behind the curve, but I can see where he could go. He needs a haircut. Uh, but maybe not. Maybe that. Oh, I just imagined him with a shaved head. That's not good. He would look like a human thumb.
A little bit.
But the match itself for the evening was okay. It was. I appreciated, again, going back to the whole vague, coming on appreciation of Baron Corbin. He's picked up his pace a lot. He's doing a lot more things more frequently. He's jaw jacking in the ring, a la. He's obviously been hanging around Kevin Steen, because Kevin, he's jaw jacking in the ring. He says stuff like, "I'm hurting you because they love you," or "I'm hurting you because they cheer you," or something like that. And he's doing some stuff. He's developing into the character they want him to be, I guess, or his version of the character they want him to be. And I enjoyed that aspect of it, but it was still a Randy Orton match, and it was still kind of prosaic. It was kind of boring. Randy Orton was really the in-ring performance. Randy Orton was really the thing holding this back, because Randy Orton doesn't give a shit, and I don't think Randy Orton ever gives a shit. And I don't understand why that guy's had the title so many times. It doesn't make any sense. But really, I was a lot higher on Baron Corbin coming out of this match than I was going in. And I don't remember. What was the finish?
The finish was Randy Orton hitting an RKO for the 3 count, of course.
Yeah, but it was kind of during a combo of moves, wasn't it?
Not really. He tried a couple of decent ones, but this was more just kind of the standard RKO.
Oh, okay. Because I seem to remember it was during some sort of a move counter into the thing, but I don't know. I don't remember. Again, Randy Orton bores me, but Randy Borton. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that. Kind of weird. You were actually more of a fan of this match than I was, considering I think I'm probably more of a fan of Randy Orton and Baron Corbin than you are. And
probably.
Yeah. Anyways, we had the typical Jinder Mahal attacks Orton. Orton did get to be kind of, the big strong face until the numbers overwhelmed him, and Mahal stands tall at the end of the show, which means he's losing.
Yup.
Which, mind you, I mean, if Mahal wins, I may vomit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was SmackDown. The main event, kind of, I don't know what was even really good about this show. Kevin Owens, Fashion Police were good.
Joe's promo was like a small stick of dynamite.
That was Raw.
Was it?
That was Raw. Yeah.
Oh man, it's all. We need to do individual shows, because I can't keep this stuff straight.
We are. We're just talking about SmackDown.
Yeah, but we're doing it all in one day.
Yes, we are doing it all in one night. So our apologies.
You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
Kevin Owens was good, and Fashion Police were good, and that was probably about it. Although you seem to like Corbin.
I'm growing to appreciate him. It's weird. I was probably what you would classify as a Corbin hater up until like maybe 2 weeks ago. I just didn't, and I still, honestly, I don't know how far he's going to go, because Vince can't book to save his goddamn life. He's booked Strowman to be the monster heel that continuously fails.
Yep.
What the fuck is he going to do with Baron Corbin? That dude is going to sniff the U.S. title once and then get deported back to fucking WWE.
He already sniffed the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he's not back in OVW by now.
All right, so that was SmackDown. We're going to do one more recording, which is going to be the 205 Live at NXT. Since they're 1 hour, we can probably get them done in one sitting without it being too long.
Yeah, probably.
You may be watching that directly after this.